Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on the DiveSAGA channel. It's holiday season, so it's time to make lists, and that's not just for no reason. If you look back a year ago on this channel, I made a promise that I was going to go all in for at least 1 year on the YouTube channel, and going all in, that meant making a new episode every 2 weeks and trying to consistently improve the quality. We did that, so the year is over, and I didn't actually skip a beat. I think there was once in the summer where I did a 3-week gap instead of like a 2-week gap, but then there was also like 1 or 2 times where I did 2 videos back to back. So we did it, and what is the result? Well, first of all, in 1 year time, we managed together, you guys and me, to grow the channel from under 5,000 to 12,000 subscribers. So thank you so much, that's amazing. And to kind of reminisce and see what we have done, I decided to make a list, my top 10 favorite dives that I've done this year. So let's do it. I did way more than 10 dives obviously this year to try and build this channel and to take you guys on cool adventures, but I distilled it down to a top 10, and on number 10 I have Vinkeveen. Vinkeveen is near Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and it is like often quoted to be the most popular dive site in the Netherlands. It's a place that I would definitely not have gone, I think, if it wasn't for the channel, but I'm super happy it took me there, especially because colleague course director Berdy Boeve invited me and showed me around, and that's amazing. Super appreciate it. If you are in or near the Netherlands, definitely check it out, especially the Narwhal, the 120-year-old shipwreck. On place number 9, it's actually an episode that's not live yet. So if you're watching it right now, I did the dive this year, but you still have an episode coming, and it's about a cenote called Beluum. I had done the dive before, but I didn't really like pay attention to it. I don't know how to say this, but sometimes dives just kind of wash over you and you're left with an impression afterwards. And I remember that it was cool, but I wanted to pay closer attention. And so we did the dive again, and it's actually one of the next episodes on this channel, Cenote Beluum. It's a super creepy, crazy cenote. It looks like the walls are melting, and it actually defies all the laws of physics and geology. So more about that in the next episode, but that was number 9 on my top 10 dives this year. For dive number 8, I have to thank Instructor Dave. Instructor Dave invited me to Venice in Florida and took me on a Megaldon shark tooth dive. It's something that I absolutely did not think that I would enjoy, because I'm not like a search and recovery kind of guy, and diving just U-patterns in the sand didn't seem appealing to me, but it was so addictive, and I managed to actually find some super good looking Megalodon shark teeth. If you are in the Florida area, give it a try. It's not super difficult, it's not crazy expensive, and you will be surprised how addicting it actually is to dive for Megalodon shark teeth. Number 7 of my top 10 favorite dives that I did this year took place also in the US, and it was in Munising in Michigan, where I learned ice diving. So again, these are all episodes on this channel. I'll link them all below so you can kind of go on a binge if you haven't seen them yet. But learning how to ice dive was on my bucket list for a long time, and again was also a lot more enjoyable than I actually thought it would be. I liked the challenge of it. It helps at decent equipment, really good instruction, and it was beautiful. It was really cool to do, an amazing challenge, and an amazing way to grow as a diver. So 100% made it into my top 10. On number 6 of my top 10 dives this year in 2023 is the El Faroud. It's an oil tanker in Malta. I was on a prospection for our upcoming SAGA trip, and the El Faroud is an oil tanker that exploded in the dry dock, and so the Maltese government decided to sink it and make it into a tourist attraction. The conditions were super rough, but I had a really good time. It was a little bit challenging, it was a tech dive as well. and it was really hard to go out in general, but we did it and I'm so glad I did. It's an amazing dive. Little intermission. If you are interested in diving the Al Faroud yourself, we are organizing a DiveSAGA trip. So next year from September 7 to 14 we are going to Malta, and I will put a link below of the web page that you can visit, or you can just leave a comment or even text me directly. We can set it up. We have 10 spots so far. There are still 7 spots open, but I don't know when you will see this video, and you can join us for an amazing week of wreck diving in Malta in September 7 to 14, 2024. On spot number 5 of my top 10 dives that I did in 2023, I have Cenote Mayan Blue. It's another cenote, but it's actually a cave. There is no cavern option. It's either you're in the open water or boom, you're in a cave pretty much. And it was the final certification dive of my cave diver course that I took this year. Super beautiful. If you wonder why they call it Maya Blue, well, it's just super blue. Obviously, like the light bounces back from your dive lights in all directions, and everything is blue and a little bit purple. I would love to go back there and make an episode for you guys. For now, all the footage I have is from my cave instructor Julia, but it still gives a really good impression. Super cool dive. So glad I did it. On number 4, number 4 of my top 10 dives that I did this year in growing the DiveSAGA YouTube channel was it's a very unexpected dive. It was in my home country in Belgium, a little bit similar to Vinkeveen in the Netherlands. It's maybe a place that I wouldn't consider diving if it wasn't for you guys and for this channel. What I did was I reached out to Tech Dive Sanne, that's a diver in Belgium, a cave diver, and I asked if she could take me to her favorite dive site, and she did, and that's super cool. And so it was an abandoned and flooded mine in Belgium, so totally filled with water, pretty cold, like almost freezing, and definitely a very creepy dive with a very difficult entry. But again, I'm so grateful. That's why it's so high in my top 10, because I'm so grateful that I did that dive, and I think about it often, how cool it actually is, and how I probably would never have gone there if it wasn't for this channel. On number 3 is a dive that I 100% would have done with or without this channel, and it is I set my personal depth record this year. I'm actually a bit against record setting and record chasing. Nothing good can come from that, but between me and my tech diving friends, we always said, okay, what sort of our outer maximum that we think is reasonable for a Trimix dive, which was 120 meters or 400 feet. And so we set up that dive, made it happen, but we actually turned it into a really nice, in my opinion, and very popular. I think it might be the most popular video this year. Video on how that's done and what the physics behind that are, and also why it's a little bit an exercise in futility, which it kind of was. Very long decompression for really not a lot of bottom time, because it's an open circuit dive. But again, that was a bit the point of the video also, and like, I'm so happy I did it. I would have done it with or without you guys, but I'm very happy that I could share it. On number 2 of my top 10 favorite dives of 2023, again a dive that I probably wouldn't have done if it wasn't for you guys and for the channel, because I was very much trying to put some episodes together, trying to see what my options were, in trying to keep like the 2 weeks, every 2 weeks upload schedule. And so we ended up going to Jupiter, Florida to find a lemon shark called Snooty. Snooty has a deformation of the jaw. It is also one of the more popular videos this year on the channel, because we found her, spoiler alert, and shark diving in general is exhilarating, but Snooty the lemon shark is such a cutie. You should absolutely watch that episode if you haven't already, and maybe, I mean, there is no guarantee. It's a dive that's harder to recreate for you guys, because you can go and dive there, but whether or not Snooty shows up is of course a little bit up to luck, but such a cool dive. And on number 1 of my top 10 favorite dives that I did in 2023, it's a dive that I think about, I'm not exaggerating, I think about it every single day. and that's the dive to the Baia Marine Archaeological Park in Baia, near Napoli, where they discovered these Roman mosaic floors. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me that we were allowed to dive there, and that people are. You can travel there and go see it. The statues are replicas because they were getting too deteriorated to leave there, but the floors are real, and the fact that we were able to dive into history like that, it just blows my mind. I don't know, honestly, if I would have done the dive without the channel, just because it was the result of people on Instagram actually reaching out and saying, go check this out and make an episode. And so I did. And again, these are the unintended side effects of trying to grow this channel. It's just going to these places that I maybe normally wouldn't even have heard about, but it was so amazing, and I'm so happy that I did it, and I'm so grateful. I would go back in a heartbeat, or like, I often have this thing where I look at the episodes so far and I think, oh, I should make it again and make it better. But of course, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna keep going. I'm really over the moon with the growth we had this year. It's maybe not like super spectacular like some of the success stories you hear where people just get like 100,000 subscribers overnight, but that also doesn't matter, because everybody who is subscribed is super interactive. People send me messages, leave comments, like the videos, interact on Instagram, and that's so valuable. That's, to me, a bit more relevant than having maybe 100,000 nameless people who just kind of watch along. So thank you all so much. You've made this a super amazing year, and I hope that I contributed to the scuba adventure in your life this year as well. If you're new to the channel, then maybe this is your cue to subscribe, because we're going to double down next year and see where we can take the DiveSAGA channel. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm super happy, and I'm very proud of what we've built together. Again, if you want to join a DiveSAGA trip next year, September 7 to 14, we're going to Malta. Check out the website. Everybody who can scuba dive is welcome to join. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.